Wait, can we like replace our names in the song? Hold on. Michelle, Kelly, and Brienne. Ah!
Except for not the 96 Bulls, so we'll have to do some lyric writing and we'll come back to you guys.
But we'll fix that part.
The 2020 mosh pit doesn't have quite the same ring.
To all the kings of wishful thinking and degenerates and angels, welcome to another episode of the Mosh Pit, the greatest of all time. That is podcast, I mean. Even if, my puns are occasionally a hit or miss. I know you are all ready and willing for myself, Michelle, and my co-hosts, Brienne and Kelly, to drill it in your brain. Music news, of course.
Michelle, your jokes aren't funny.
I see what you did there. I am corrupting you as well. Well, Kelly, it is all down here. It
really is all downhill from here because this is turning into a shit show, Michelle.
Absolutely. I have so many more puns that I'm going to leave you with memories and battle scars. It is a good thing we are a community that accepts everyone with all their quirks. We wouldn't want any episode of the Mosh Pit to be an anthem for the unwanted. In case you are not picking up what my puns are putting down, it is Forever and Ever times Infinity Day, and we are diving in track by track of New Found Glory's newest album. We hope you enjoy it, and if you don't, well, I pick my friends over you, aka people who are into listening to us ramble about albums for an hour. So tell me, Bran, Kelly, are you guys excited to talk about arguably what can be known as the kings of pop punk?
We're ready. Never been more ready in my whole life.
Wow, that's a big statement.
I'm just still trying to get over this nonsense puns and whatnot. Like, there are definitely some that I'm questioning if it was a pun or just Michelle rambling. I don't really know.
Brienne, you fucking love it. Don't even lie to me.
I mean, I love you, but still doesn't mean I'm gonna not make fun of you.
All right. Well, anyways, there will be more puns to come as we do our track by track. But, listeners, you're going to have to wait because, as always, first is music news.
All right, our first piece of music news for you all today. We've got lots of new music to share with you that has come out over the last week or so. And first, Point North has released a new song called Brand New Vision featuring Dwayne. Their new album will be out on August 21st, and they released the title track, Brand New Vision, and I liked it a lot. I liked it, I think, more than the last single they put out, which was A Million Pieces. I thought the rap feature was pretty cool. Overall, it kind of feels like this album will have a little bit of a different sound than Retrograde, but I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely think it's going to be like a little moodier than the Retrograde EP, but I'm digging it. I definitely think I like Brand New Vision better than A Million Pieces. But
that's a TV show.
Yeah. The song is giving me kind of vibes of what the Main or Every Avenue would have been if they were a little more emo or hardcore. And it's a very interesting sound, and definitely, like I said, a different take than what Retrograde was. And I don't know what this trend is, but I am digging like these rap hooks in all these new pop punk songs. Even if I'm not a rap fan, it works. The mix, the collaboration,
spices it up.
Yeah, though I will say, Black Bear's rap in Monsters was better than this one. My opinion.
Fair. We also love All Time Low too much.
Yeah, that's probably an unfair assessment on my part.
See, for me, I agree, Blackbirds was better, but I was just gonna do a different criticism. The rap is fine, and I loved the song, but I will say that his voice just kind of rubs me the wrong way, like Dwayne. He sounds like a low-rent Lil Wayne, like with his, like the inflections on the ends of
I can see that. Like,
words.
he's trying too hard to be him, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, dude, just do you. Don't try to copy someone else. He sounds like a bad version of Lil Wayne. So, I mean, other than that, I really, really like the song.
I actually kind of liked it. I liked it. I don't know. I'm not going to fight you, but I thought it was pretty cool.
Well, Kelly, don't give her, like, a knuckle puck.
That just rolled off your tongue way too easily.
You guys know I'm really good at the puns. So, obviously, more new music. Knuckle puck. You love me. Knuckle Puck has released a new song. It's called Breathe, and another really cool feature. We've got Derek Sanders from Mayday Parade on here, which honestly though, the first listen through, I didn't hear his voice, and during the second listen through, I didn't really hear it either. I'm pretty sure I know where it was, but I don't know. It was a little underwhelming for me. It's kind of sounding a lot of what like pop. It's sounding a lot like what most pop.
It sounds like you're trying to say pop pants or something.
I'm trying to say punk and bands together.
So is that what a pants is? We're just gonna call pop punk bands pants now. Pants. P-A-N-D-S.
So for me, it's sounding a lot like what most pop punk bands are doing right now. Like if you threw that song into a playlist of some Grayscale, like Pacific, and other bands like that, I wouldn't be able to pick out that this is Knuckle Puck. That's kind of how I feel about it.
Yeah. I liked this song. I'll start with that. But once you said you thought it sounded like Grayscale, I feel like that might be why I like it. Because I love Grayscale. And I would agree. It does have a little bit of their vibe to it. I definitely did pick out Derek's voice, though. I feel like his voice was very recognizable, but I don't think that it really added that much. Like I don't know. I don't think that feature really like elevated the song at all.
Yeah.
But either way, it's actually one of my favorites from Knuckle Puck because I haven't really gotten into them that much in the past.
Yeah, that's the thing about Derek's voice is, he does have a very distinctive voice. I mean, like, Mayday Parade is just so, iconic, I guess, almost, because of Derek's voice, that, for me not to hear it is kind of weird. So, I totally agree. It was definitely didn't add much to the song.
Yeah, so, like most bands within this whole new music section, a very limited listening experience with Knuckle Puck, but I really did like the song, I should say. I too had an issue picking out Derek's voice because you think with me not knowing the band very well, I'd be able to pick out the parts of the song that I do know really well, because I do know Mayday Parade really well. And the fact that I couldn't really decipher it. But I agree, I don't know because I couldn't figure out where it was, I agree, I don't think it did a good job of highlighting his talents. But on to more music news of a band that I don't really know that well. Fun fact, that is going to be foreshadowing for an upcoming episode. Neck Deep released another song from All Distortions Are Intentional. The new song is called Fall. Like I said, I don't have a ton of experience with this band. I did really like it. I found myself bopping along to the song and like nodding my head. I can't tell if they, in the second verse, they either double layered his audio track or they had a backup vocal that was very close to it. It wasn't exactly a harmony. It just sounded a little off to me. I don't know.
It was like a weird group vocals. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
It wasn't like, normally when there's group vocals, I'm like, fuck yeah, let's do this. And that one I was just like, oh, okay, you're going with that choice, huh? Okay. So, I mean, other than that, it was good, but...
Yeah, for me, the vocals were a mess. I like the song, and I think it fits in well with what we've heard so far of the album. the email that like notified about the release and stuff, it, you know, it talks that it's a song about excess, release, and escape. But it sets up the album's central love story full of ups, downs, discoveries, and epiphanies, you know, all that. And, you know, to me, not just like, you know, this kind of little description, but the song itself and the other ones thematically, it kind of gives me some All Time Low, Last Young Renegade vibes. And like looking back on the other songs, like Low Life, it's definitely putting me in that real narrative driven mindset for an album, which I really love. You know, I love it when the music tells a story instead of just kind of a word vomit to some tunes. And, you know, Neck Deep does that really well. I think they're a band that does that fantastically. Like, 1970 something is, like, the perfect example of that, like, off of The Peace and the Panic. That song makes me cry every single time. But, yeah, going back to my point about the vocals, though, it was just really weird to me. You know, Ben has a very unique voice, and I feel like I don't know what they did to it. It was like a weird auto-tune, and it just masked that really good sound he has.
Yeah, I literally weird is the exact word that I would use to describe his voice too. It just sounds just like something is just not right. I don't know. But I know we love when our bands grow and try new things musically and things like that, but Life's Not Out to Get You was just perfection. It was a 10. Like, that's just, I think, very well agreed upon across the whole pop punk community. Like, Life's Not Out to Get You was a 10. And this feels a little bit, or not a little bit, kind of a serious departure from that sound. And this thought popped into my head, maybe all distortions are intentional in this twisted departure that they're making. They have a point to make about it.
Ooh. Mind blown.
Yeah.
Kelly, you're
but
just
either way,
you're too deep for me.
You're onto them.
I try. You know, it kind of crossed my mind, and I was like, you know, this might be too deep for everyone, but we're going to say it anyway. But I do really miss, like, the guitar and drums that had more of a leading presence from that era, from the Life's Not Out to Get You era. And I feel like with those songs, it was like the guitar and the drums and like all of that kind of led the song. And then the lyrics were really good behind it. And I don't know. I just think this just wasn't living up to that for me. But I also don't love to compare things to past albums. But
yeah,
that's what I think.
Sure. We'll just have to see when the full album drops in July, which is very soon. But yeah, I totally feel that Life's Not Out to Get You. I mean, that's one of my favorite albums in recent years. And, you know, when I first listened to Life's Not Out to Get You, I also like simultaneously, that's when I found Neck Deep, and I simultaneously found State Champs, who coincidentally has also released new music. On the 22nd of June, they were celebrating 10 years as a band with this interactive online variety show. You know, they hung out, they performed, they had some guests, and they premiered new music, which is off of their new EP, Unplugged, which is dropping August 14th. It's going to have 6 tracks, 4 of them new, and 2 LP songs reimagined. We have heard now Criminal acoustically, and their new song, Crying Out Loud. And Derek, he said that Crying Out Loud took us the longest to get to a place where we truly felt excited about the song. You know, once we got there, we knew this emotionally heavy yet upbeat tune about breakup, loneliness, and moving on would be a solid single. And he was right. It is a solid single. Acoustically, it's just beautiful. It's, you know, I'm not always big on acoustics, but acoustic. And Derek's vocals... like legitimately, I just want to say like hard eyes. You know, I love his voice, and you know, State Champs does like relationship songs very well, and I think something about his voice just adds a great layer to it, because it's you can feel him like really passionately portraying and like pouring his heart out with these songs. So I was a big fan of Crying Out Loud.
You said exactly what I was thinking. I usually don't get this excited about acoustic songs. I feel like, you know, I just never I just never feel like this about acoustic songs, but dang, like it sounds amazing, and his voice is just like out of this world. And one thing I also thought about this song, I very much want to hear it at a live show one day, and I feel like I like acoustic songs more when they're performed live, because like there's so many people in one space and it gets to be quiet and like you're all singing the same words, and I just think that's a really awesome moment. So I hope they get to play that live one day.
Yeah, there's something super raw about an acoustic song at a concert. It you know, everybody's like kind of laid bare and vulnerable.
Yeah.
I definitely really like the song. There's just something too about when it's an acoustic song to hear the singer just whispering into the mic, 1, 2, 3, 4. Like, I don't know what it is, but the second it happened, I was like, yes, let's do this. It was it was
Yeah, the fact that you pointed that out, I didn't even think about it, but I did the exact same reaction. I was like, yes.
it gave me chills down my spine.
My body is ready.
But yeah, I really liked the juxtaposition of like, because when I first started listening to it, I wasn't super paying attention to the words. I was just kind of like listening along, and I was like, oh, this is like a nice song. And I started listening to the lyrics, and I was like, oh, the fact that it's like almost like a romantic and happy vibe with the like a melody and stuff, and then you listen to the words, and it's like, oh, nope, that is not at all what they're talking about. I liked it. I dig it.
Yeah, I dig it. Someone else that I dig, the Maine.
Oh my god, our favorite.
Our favorite. The Maine hosted their first worldwide fan conference on June 16th, and I just absolutely love the way they branded that. Like, really great job to 8123 for branding it that way as a worldwide fan conference. I felt like I was at a business meeting, and like it was just it was great. Like, really great branding.
Best business meeting ever.
Yeah. But their conference was pretty cool, and they talked about a couple different things. They talked about their 8123 Impact Day, which was basically encouraging their whole community and all of their fans to participate in a give back day. You know, whether they can go do something out in the community, or if for their safety they want to stay at home and do something from home to make some impact. That was pretty cool. That happened on June 20th, and you can read more about that at 8123.com/impact. And there's, you know, they have a lot of suggestions about stuff that fans can do to give back. They also talked about Pillar, which is a new music community. It's an app, and it's essentially like a modern day fan club. And, you know, the Maine has been independent since 2010, and this is sort of one of the best ways to support them right now and help make sure they're able to keep making music. So obviously I was like one of the first people to sign up for this platform. They are sharing some exclusive content there. They'll release like original demos of some of their existing songs. They'll release songs that never made it to an album, never made it to a B-side, things like that. So there's tons of exclusive content on there. Definitely recommend to check it out. You can search for it in the App Store or pillar.club. They also previewed some of their summer merch, some 8123 apparel, some vinyls, and like their big announcement at the end of this whole conference. Like, you would think there would be some sort of bang
like a keynote
at
speaker.
The end. Yeah, like some sort of bang at the end of this, or like they would perform, or like something would happen. They're like, we have an announcement. We're still a band, and we've been quarantining together, and we're working on album 8.
That's a very the main thing to say.
I know. It was, yeah. Coming from John O'Callaghan with like the most serious mustache I've ever seen. Yep, so that's an update from the world of the Maine in 8123.
Another band that apparently might still be a band, Forever the Sickest Kids has hinted at making a comeback. So alternative press, you know, we're still iffy on them, but they posted an article about like the top 10 neon pop punk bands that need to make a comeback, and one of them was listed as Forever Sickest Kids. And the important part about this is that Forever Sickest Kids Facebook page reposted this with the caption being like, you like wait and see, or I forget what the actual like verbiage was, but they were like maybe, and I am beyond excited because I freaking loved Forever the Sickest Kids. They were the first mosh pit I was ever in. I had an anxiety attack during it. It was a whole thing.
What's
Either
new?
way, it's memorable. So I'm pumped.
No, I'm pumped too. I mean, Forever the Sickest Kids is definitely up there in like, making an impact on my formative years. Like, all of what was the album? Underdog Alma Mater.
Hey, Brittany. Yes, that is the album.
Yeah, Underdog Alma Mater was just my absolute, like, that was, I've been seeing a meme recently, which is like a Squidward just kind of being like, and, people are posting like, what's one album that, from start to finish is just 100% awesome? Underdog Alma Mater. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, for sure. The first thing I saw when I said this was, whoa, like their single. I'm not as good at puns as you are, but
nope, you nailed it. I'm very proud of you for that pun.
Well, that one, it was important because it like naturally came to me. I was reading it and I said it in my head.
Oh, So earlier when we were talking about Neck Deep and I was like, oh, Kelly, you're too deep for me. Like 5 minutes later, I was like, I should have fucking made a pun there. And I'm so mad. But because I'm not quick enough to think of these things in the moment. So
it's still funny
Michelle,
10 minutes later.
It still worked. I liked it. Even after the fact.
I appreciate the love, guys.
Yeah, so one of our other new favorites that we've mentioned on the podcast before, Stand Atlantic. We've mentioned that they've released some new music and whatnot, and I was a little confused about whether there was a new album or anything of the sort because it didn't seem like it. It was all under a shroud of mystery, but they did announce a new era. And actually, today, on the day of recording, June 24th, they released a new song called Jurassic Park, and their new album Pink Elephant will be released on August 7th, so that solves that mystery. But no, the song Jurassic Park, first of all, bomb name, and it made me want to dance from the first note. And we kind of talked about how Ben's voice was weirdly auto-tuned or whatever in the new song by Neck Deep Fall. Bonnie's voice was kind of semi-auto-tuned, but it didn't bother me like Ben's did, because it was used well and like intermittently, so it was just like not throughout the whole song, but the song was just full of energy, and I was just ready to rage and mosh and dance, and I was just wanted to move, and I don't know what you call it, but where you're kind of, they're like singing and then it just drops off like halfway through a word in the last syllable. Instead of singing it, they just say it. I fucking loved that. She said it. It was so like, because it's kind of like cheeky, and she's like kind of like, ooh,
I do know. That was one of my favorite parts of the song too. The word dinosaur. She sings dino and says soar. And
that's what it was. Yes.
Genius. It's just genius. But I think the semi-auto-tune also, it was pretty tasteful. Like, I think it really like added something fresh to the song without being like, oh, I'm gonna auto-tune everything. So I thought that was really cool. I think this is a bop. I just love this song. It it's just like a really interesting song, and it's super fun, and I listened to it the first time, and then I went back and listened to it like 3 more times in a row. And I'm very excited because I really like haven't listened to Stand Atlantic, like a lot of their past stuff. When we talked about them in one of our last episodes, I listened to a couple of their other new songs, but this one just kind of hit me. I really like it, so I'm gonna say that I'm now a Stand Atlantic fan.
Yeah, of all their new music that's come out recently, I definitely think this one's my top. Like,
for sure.
you guys have kind of recently found Stand Atlantic through me, per usual. But Stand Atlantic.
I wish there was an eye roll like way to show people how hard I just eye rolled for that statement. Just because it's true doesn't mean that you're interesting, in the words of John Mulaney.
Yeah, that what I just said had total like pick me vibes. I'm sorry, guys. No, but I found Stand Atlantic with the song Coffee at Midnight, and that's kind of got a lot of like high energy, and I mean I think that's for me. The ballads are great, the slow sad songs are great, but for me pop punk is just like, I want to punch a wall kind of energy, and I definitely think Jurassic Park was better than like Wavelength and the
Hate Me Sometimes.
Hate Me Sometimes, that was the one I was thinking of, but yeah, it's definitely it's making me look forward to more new music from them, like excitedly, not just like because Stand Atlantic's cool and I like their songs, but like I'm excited.
I'm not gonna lie, I forgot to listen to this one. I had a list of all of our new music on Spotify, but because this one was posted with a link to YouTube, I forgot to go back and listen to the one YouTube. But I will say my 2 cents into this song, which is not gonna be anything to do with the song. Before, Michelle, when you were talking about you just makes you want to rage, have you ever seen Big Mouth on Netflix?
Like maybe 5 minutes of one episode.
Okay, first of all, it's one of the greatest shows. You need to watch it. Second of all, one of the hormone monsters, anytime he gets really mad, he just goes, rage, rage, fucking rage, and like it's really mad. And that's all I could picture in my head is just you sitting in the middle of a mosh pit like, ah!
I mean, that sounds like me.
That sounds desirable. Like one day, I hope that happens. And we can witness it. I love it. Well, we've shared lots of new music with you that hopefully you, our listeners, can go check out and let us know what you think of them.
Well, should we have a playlist on our Spotify?
Oh, we shall.
Totally should.
Look at that.
Yeah. If you're looking to hear some of the songs that we talk about on the show, you can check out the playlist section on our website, www.themoshpitpod.com, or follow us on Facebook or Instagram at the Moshpit Pod, and we'll post our playlists. So go do that.
Branding, hooray!
You're welcome. And before we, in using Brianne's lovely pun, before we dive neck deep into A Newfound Glory, track by track, we want to share just a couple quick pieces of tour news with you as tours and bands try to start to figure out the landscape. Green Day has revealed new 2021 dates around the Hella Mega Tour. So in addition to those dates, Jimmy Eat World canceled their upcoming 2020 tour with the Front Bottoms. Womp womp. Womp womp. Andrew McMahon of Jack's Mannequin, Something Corporate, and Andrew McMahon in the Wilderness is playing 3 drive-in shows in Anaheim, California on July 10th, 11th, and 12th. And that is going to be a 15-year anniversary show of Everything in Transit. So he's going to play that.
I want to go.
I know. I think this is one of the first drive-in shows that has been promoted too, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that'll be definitely cool to see shots from that and see kind of what it ends up looking like.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see like how that actually goes down. Like, will people sit in their trunks and like whatever jam out? I'm interested to see what that looks like.
I mean, we kind of talked about it a little bit during one of the episodes about how no one was ever gonna pay for any kind of booze or anything. Everything's getting snuck in, and that was the...
In episode 7, The New Normal, you should go listen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We make a great pun about when the van comes a-rockin' or whatever. Yeah, it was pretty funny.
We're pretty funny. And our last piece of tour news, Riot Fest announced new dates and a new lineup for September 2021.
Woo! And we're all going.
And yeah, we're all going. This will take place in Chicago. And yeah, Moshpit trip, anyone?
Hell yeah.
I've never been to Chicago. I want to go so bad.
Same.
I'm down too.
Yeah,
And
we've
also,
got...
it might just be quarantine talking because I just need to get the fuck out of this house.
Probably. We just all need to get out. But we've got My Chemical Romance, Taking Back Sunday. Who else do we got? All American Rejects, Newfound Glory.
Oh. And on that note, let's get into it. So, as we said, it is Forever and Ever times Infinity Day. Guys, I finally have gotten that down. You know, I've said it enough times in the last few episodes and today that, you know, I'm not stuttering over the album name anymore.
I was about to
Finally
say,
got it.
you saying it over the past few episodes needs some air quotes around it because it's more like you fucked it up enough to get it right this time. I'm not wrong.
I would argue, but you're right.
I was about to say, I'm not wrong. I might not be nice, but I'm not wrong.
Very true. So, just as we did with Wake Up Sunshine, we are doing a track-by-track breakdown and review. You know, just a little background, as if you all didn't know already. Newfound Glory from Coral Springs, Florida, formed back in 1997. This is their 10th studio album. Take a second to just wrap your brain around that.
Pretty wild.
Yeah, it's insane. And, you know, it's 97. That's 23 years. That's just so much music. And, you know, I called them the kings of pop punk before, and it's pretty true. You know, they've been a constant staple in the scene for a very long time. And, you know, a lot of bands very clearly influenced by them. And, you know, so it's cool that they're still putting out music like this album, Forever and Ever times Infinity. It was released June 19th, 2020, so we've had some time to kind of ruminate in it. Released on Hopeless. Shout out, one of our favorite labels. So, you know, we kind of mentioned, you know, Kelly had a scientific opinion a few episodes back about the difference between a bop, a banger, and a jam. And we decided that it is a good rating system for songs. So, we will be labeling all these songs either a banger, a jam, a bop, or a flop. Because, you know, sometimes you're just not going to like a song, so we can call that a flop. So, that's kind of going to be our rating system. So, if you guys are ready to go, we're going to dive right in.
Let's do it.
Ready.
Awesome. So, first track. We have heard this one already. It was one of the first singles released. I think it was the second, right? Greatest of All Time came out first?
Yep.
Shook by Your Shaved Head. To start off, I think I mentioned it the first time we talked about it. I love the title. It's one of those kind of, you know, like, just funny, silly things. It definitely piques your interest right away. And, you know, like I said, we'd heard it already, but when I threw on the album, I threw it on blind. I didn't know what track was first. So I didn't realize it was Shook by a Shaved Head. And I thought I was listening literally a song straight off of Radio Surgery. And then it kind of merged into like this Sticks and Stonish feel. And I was loving it from the get-go. I mean, I think I loved it when we first heard it, but now, you know, kind of getting into the album, it's a great, strong start to really get you in the mood for the whole album.
Yeah, I totally agree. I was a big fan of like the little bit of heavier guitar and drums on this one. Like it really gets you going on a high note. And I think this gave a really good vibe for the rest of the album. Like you could at this point already tell sort of the themes and the sound of the upcoming album. And I mean, it was also like kind of relatable with quarantine haircuts happening right now and all of that. So I thought that was pretty good timing.
I'm going to be the dissenting vote on this one. So I really liked like the melody and everything, but I can't get over the line Shook by Your Shaved Head. There's literally no reason for it. It doesn't tie in with anything other like play on words. There's no nothing. It's just so random. I don't know. I just couldn't get into it lyrically. We all know and we all talk about how much we love All Time Low because of their lyrics. And I try to pay attention to lyrics, and every time it just took me out of vibing to the song. And I will say, though, the breakdown at the very end of the song is, mwah, chef's kiss, amazing. But, and out of all of the songs on the album, I was not digging this one. I will also say that I didn't listen to the singles when they came out. I wanted to wait until the album came out because I wanted to listen to it all in one shot.
Sure, that's why you didn't listen to them, Brienne.
I would argue with you, but I'm right. But you're right. It's part of the reason. It's like maybe a 10% reason, but still, it's part of the reason. But yeah, I don't know. It wasn't my cup of tea.
So, Brie, what's your vote then on it?
See, here, I have an issue with this rating system already, because I don't think it's a flop, but it's definitely not any of the other ones. Like, it's not a jam, it's not a bop.
It's like a low level banger. Like, we need, like, scales.
No, so we need, like, a middle, because we have, like, really good ratings and then just
All
a really bad.
And then just a bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
So we need...
What's another word?
Meh.
The meh?
Meh.
Yeah, I'm gonna add meh to the list, and I want, because it's not a flop. Like, it's not a bad song. It just is definitely not any of the other ones. It doesn't rise to the occasion of a bop banger or jam for me.
All right, I see you. I would call this a bit of a banger, because I could definitely, rage to it. I was headbanging along, and I'm gonna call it a banger.
Yep, same here. I voted this one a banger. Let's mosh.
All right, so Shook by Your Shaved Head. Banger!
All right, on to the second track. The greatest of all time, excuse me. There's no the. It's just kind of habit, I guess. I don't know. I think the opening guitar riff reminded me so much of All Time Low's opening to Guts.
I can see that.
Yeah, so that was one thing. And then I really liked, like, everything about the song. I really liked the deep cut that is the 96 Bull reference that runs throughout the song.
Love it.
Absolutely.
I am just old enough and paid attention to basketball just enough to know who fucking Pippen was. Like, I know it's Scottie Pippen, but, like, obviously you hear Jordan, you're like, oh yeah, but then, like, when he names off the other two players, people are just like, wait, what? Like, I had to, like, kind of go deep into my 90s trivia and be like, oh, right, yep, So I thought it's showing their age, put it that way, which is one of the few things they do throughout this entire freaking album. You'd think they were 17.
Yeah,
so true.
That is a lot of my comments.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I totally agree on the basketball reference. I'm not a big basketball fan. The extent of my knowledge of Michael Jordan's career was what was alluded to it in Space Jam.
I was about to say, that's the only thing you really need to know, and by that I mean it's the only thing I care about.
Right? So I didn't really appreciate the NBA reference enough until I watched some of the documentary on Jordan, and because like you said, we were just on the brink, so I was kind of too young and I didn't pay attention enough to really
we were 5 when the 96 Bulls were playing, so
yeah, but the reference was great, and I really did enjoy the song. It was very pop punk, and it was kind of a good follow-up to Shook by Your Shaved Head. It's starting the album off strong, and I think it really showcases Jordan's vocals, which the rest of it is like whatever. The chorus is catchy as fuck, and going back to the NBA reference, I've since it's come out, and especially now since the whole album's come out, I've found myself to kind of just mumbling as I'm doing things like Jordan, Rodman, and Pippen would have known I hit them.
I do that every day. It's really great,
right? Because it's just super fucking catchy, and I mean,
yeah.
I lyrically, I'm kind of on the page that Brienne was with Shook by Your Shaved Head. It's like a little whatever, but I did enjoy the stick figures on a hillside. I thought it had a cute little nostalgic vibe of first loves in high school, and you're doing that stupid romantic shit. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, I think the Bulls reference just really made the song more powerful. I don't know. I think. I mean, I'm also watching The Last Dance, the Bulls documentary, So it like perked my ears up. I was like, ooh, like I actually know who these people are now. So it made me excited. But I think it just makes like the whole message of like we make a good team. Like that's what this song is about. We make
really
a good team together, and it just makes that message way more powerful if you actually, you know, understand the reference. It makes it really powerful. Gets me right in the feels, and I mean it's relatable to a lot of people and to me in my life right now. So I really like this song and can't stop singing it. I think it's a jam.
I would call it, I'd call it a jam as well.
I was between a jam and a bop. I couldn't decide. I'll just stick with the team. I'll stick with the team.
Hey!
And go with a jam. Thank you.
Wait, can we like replace our names in the song? Hold on. Michelle, Kelly, and Brienne. Ow!
Except for not the 96 Bulls, so we'll have to do some lyric writing and we'll come back to you guys.
But we'll fix that part. Oh no, we're definitely gonna.
We'll do a TikTok on this.
Will we though?
The 2020 Moshpit doesn't have quite the same ring.
No, not really.
All right, on to track number 3. Another very interesting song title, Double Chin for the Win. And this song kind of to me sounded like some old school garage band pop punk at the beginning. I mean, we've got like some cheeky lyrics and it's very pop punky and self-deprecating. You know, they say, you're a 10, I'm a 3, I hope you can never afford LASIK surgery. So you've got some
my
quite
sides hang
cheeky,
over my jeans.
I know. So like serious like dad bod anthem, this song. That's pretty much it.
I will say the opening riff is just unsettling. Like the entire time I was just like, oh no, what is happening? I don't like this.
Yeah, no, I totally get what you're saying. I was very meh about the lyrics in general. I agree with you, Kel, that it's very pop punk. You know, I mean, it's typical Newfound Glory, and I don't know, like, you know, the self-deprecating, it was just so self-hating to me, and I'm like, who would want to sing along to this? Like, I don't want to sing like that about myself, you know? I don't know, maybe it's because I'm a female, and it's, you know, I just can't get with that kind of self-hate. But yeah, I don't know, the song didn't really...
I think that enough in my head, I don't want to sing it out loud, thank you very much.
Right? You know, it was just not a song that stuck out to me, and the only, I think, redeeming quality for this song was the one line, you're the catch and I'm the one you throw back in. I thought it was kind of clever, but that was the extent of, like, the cleverness of the song.
I think so, too.
Yeah. All right, kids, what are we rating it?
A flop.
I would say meh. I didn't hate it.
I say the very bottom of meh. Like, it's not a flop yet, but it's getting there.
Yeah. There were still, like, some parts of it that I liked. Like, the guitar and drums in it were decent. Like, I think that was pretty good. But it didn't, like, stand out, you know? Like, it's kind of a little bit forgettable, aside from, like, feeling kind of bad about myself after listening to it.
Right? I mean, that's what I mean, like, even the music was just really just because, like, after, like, you know, those strong starts, I think, I don't know, it just didn't do anything for me.
No, the beginning of that song literally just made me feel like on edge. I couldn't. Maybe it is a flop. I don't know. It's pretty bad.
Is it a mop?
It might be a mop. Just making up more categories as we go.
We're just making up all the words now. All right. So next track number 4. Nothing to say, and I don't have much to say on this. No, it kind of felt a little 90s skate punk along the lines of kind of what Kelly was saying with the previous song. Like, you know, picture the music videos for, like, Sum 41, Fat Lip, even, like, Into Deep and The Empty Pool and everything. That's kind of, like, the vibe I got for it. But, you know, again, lyrically, it's just bad. dead. Like, the pre-chorus lyrics, they
Yeah.
killed me. Like, you're so see-through, might as well be a window. Get the fuck out of here. How lazy.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm like, for 10 albums, you've been able to get your shit together, and then out of nowhere, it's like, we're gonna mail this one in real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, like, the lyrics are just little. I don't love the lyrics. I think like the thing that I think upsets me about this one is like I like where it's going. It just, I don't feel
Never
like
gets
it's
there.
delivered. It's like, I mean, it makes you think about like all the bad friends you've had before that, like, you know, don't stand up for you or uses you or acts different in front of other people. Like Karen. This is the song about Karen, and like it could have been really good, and I think that's what makes me a little upset because the lyrics are just like too in your face, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, rating.
I didn't hate it, but obviously, like, I think we're all very lukewarm on it, so it's a meh for me.
I literally wrote meh in my before we even discussed our rating system.
See, I think this one is a flop. There was like not one redeeming quality for me. It was just all over the place, so confusing. I couldn't get into it.
All right, so that's a 2 out of 3 meh. So we're gonna go with meh.
All right, track number 5. It's called "Stay a While." To start out, I did really like the intro to this song. The guitar and drums like get you ready for like a little bit more of a poppy song. I thought it was, I mean, it's just like trying to be a cute love song, and I thought some of the lyrics were also meh, which is seeming to be a little bit of a theme. But I thought this one maybe more than some of the other ones. The melodies like held it together a little bit more.
Yeah.
Agreed. Yeah, no, I completely agree. I mean, you said it. Cute, I think, was kind of the perfect word for it. Like, the chorus is super cute, but yeah, again, lyrically, it's just kind of simplistic and kind of lame. But yeah, the melodies are cool. I mean, it's still not really a standout song for me. I did love, like, there was kind of a moment where it shifted from like a little from electric and like to a little bit of acoustic kind of vibe, that it was just kind of where it like dropped out, so that I liked.
They also added some na-na-nas at the end, and I will say I always love myself a na-na-na, so that gave it like a slight like gave it a point.
See, I feel like Nothing to Say was just so bad that I really liked this one. Like, I think I overlooked the shortcomings you guys are mentioning just because I was like, oh my god, thank god it's not fucking like as bad as the one before. I think it was just very standard cookie cutter pop punk. And I mean, well, there's nothing wrong with that. It just, you know, I kind of feel like we all hold Newfound Glory to a higher standard. So the fact that they are the ones who's is just, you know, kind of like, oh, this is nice. You know, I expect more from them.
I will say, like, up to this point in the album, like, we do definitely have some opinions for sure, but I think, like, it's still very much, like, uniquely Newfound Glory, and I do really appreciate that. Like, you turn on any of these songs and you know who it is, and I feel like that is a redeeming quality too.
See, I think I disagree. I don't think it's redeeming. I think it's a testament to more Jordan's vocals than what Newfound Glory did with this album. You know, I think it's because, like, honestly, you know, I've listened to the album a couple of times and I've gone through it. Since Greatest of All Time, I don't think I can't hear the songs in my head. Like, that's how much that they're just forgettable. Like, Stay a While, I have my notes about it, but I don't remember what it sounds like, to be honest.
I will say also, like, we always talk about how we want our bands to push themselves and to go outside their comfort zone and evolve over the years. This album makes me feel like they either regress to, like, this, you know, we're gonna stay in a safe space, like in a bubble type thing. Like, with this song, it's very standard, very cookie cutter. And all of these songs, like, I have a couple more down the line, but there's so many references to, like, such specific high school bullshit. versus like some of the other bands we listen to, like All Time Low and all that stuff, you can interpret it as like, oh, in high school, you know, blah, blah, but you can also interpret it as a 29-year-old, you know, woman. I could see myself in that song. All of these songs are so...
Yeah, at any stage, it's relevant.
Yes, unlike this album where everything is so specifically young and like, I'm 17 and I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, and these men are 40! Like,
Yep.
I'm just really disappointed, to say the least. Sorry,
Yeah.
I had to go on a tangent.
No, that's totally fine. Want to go on another tangent, Brie?
I guess. Okay, so wait, we did rate already. We went off on a tangent after rating.
Oh, did we rate this?
I don't
know if
remember. No,
I don't think we did.
Okay.
Well, it's a meh for me.
I'd say a high meh, low jam, like the range, because I don't think it's bad. It's just not spectacular.
What about you, Kel?
Yeah, I'd say meh.
Meh. All right, so it's another meh.
So track number 6, we have Himalaya. We talked about this one during one of previous episodes. They posted a preview of it on their Instagram, and just from the chorus, I remember talking about how I really liked it. I remember Michelle and I eventually went back and forth about the lyrics, and again, very young, it's basically talking about how you need to find better friends and all this stuff. And
It's basically Nothing to Say all over again,
Yeah,
except
exactly.
even more on the nose somehow.
Yeah.
yeah, it was very confusing. The beginning opening riff is awesome, and then once you hit the chorus, the melody and I don't know, not the chorus, excuse me. From the opening riff is awesome. The first verse, the guitar and the drums just makes me feel unsettled because it doesn't match up with the vocals, and it makes me anxiety ridden. And then when it hits the chorus, it's like, okay, I'm back in it, and then it pulls you back out. But lyrically, again, yeah, Kelly, perfect example.
Yeah, no, I agree. I may be recalling incorrectly, but I don't think I liked it that very much the first time around.
You did.
But as part of the album, I'm feeling it way more. And like you said, I definitely agree. The intro is really great. I think it has a lot of signature riffs that I relate to Newfound Glory. That's kind of like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, it's lyrically just meh. You know, on its own, when we first heard it, I didn't mind the lyrics. I just think musically I didn't like it because it's a little heavier. Not that I dislike heavier pop punk, but it was just something about it, and I guess that's kind of what you said. It was just kind of more chaotic energy that just unsettles you. But, you know, as I'm listening to the whole album, lyrically it's disappointing, and musically it's disappointing.
I agree with Brie. I very much liked the intro riff. The first 30 seconds were awesome if they could have just like kept that momentum going. But I mean, like, I don't know why that opening, it made it feel like this could be a very, very fun song on Guitar Hero if that still existed. I don't know if it does, but it would be so fun.
What a good reference.
I just feel like it would be so fun. I don't know, but
I was really bad at Guitar Hero.
Oh, I think I was pretty good at it. I don't know. You should try that for your drum practicing.
Ooh.
Quick side
Because
tangent.
they had a drum too.
Yeah, quick side tangent. Last
good
time
at
I
the
went
drums.
home to New England, I brought my Guitar Hero PlayStation 2 back with me to Florida to play. Problem is that the technology is so old, no matter how many times you calibrate it, it does not fucking match up with the TV.
no.
Because it's like a
So
flat screen,
sad.
and they used to play on like one of those old tube TVs, so
Yeah.
R.I.P. my Guitar Hero.
So, anyways, so for me, it's gonna be another meh. A lot of mehs here.
There is
Yeah.
really is a lot of meh.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with meh as well.
Yeah.
Alright.
Sorry to say it.
I know. I'm like,
Yeah.
like we're not even halfway through, and I'm, you know, I gotta say the album, I'm just not feeling it. And you know, I'm a big Newfound Glory fan. I've gone to tons of their shows, and you know, I've bruised ribs at their mosh pit in their mosh pits. You know, I'm a dedicated fan, but you know, I'm gonna be real. It's been pretty disappointing so far in this album, and it's gonna continue to be a little disappointing because the next song, Same Side Sitters, I'll say it seems like a fun song to start a circle pit at the intro. Like, I can just picture them being like, open it up, circle, then the song. But besides that, it sounds like the rest of the album. It's really hard to distinguish between these songs. Just like some of the other songs, it just keeps repeating these hooks, and it's just it really it doesn't really do much for me. I do have to say that the lyrics still suck. But I do fucking love the chorus. But that's my own like personal anecdote, because my boyfriend, he is really adamant about what he calls couples boothing, or as Newfound Glory would call it, same side sitting. And I think it's super cringy as fuck, but he revels in that shit. And it's like kind of like, a fun little banter joke we have going on when we go out to eat at restaurants. Like he's tries to like literally like push me into a booth so he can sit next to me. And I'm like, no, you're sitting across from me. We're not doing this shit tonight.
I'm sorry, but your boyfriend is a serial killer. Like, anyone who wants to, like, that is one of my biggest pet peeves, is that when people sit on the same fucking side of the booth, unless it's like, there's one restaurant in Jacksonville that has actually a booth situation where there isn't another option on the other side, like they don't have chairs on the other side of the booth, and it's so you either sit there or nothing. So we've done that once or twice, and every time I sit there, I'm like, this is wrong. This is wrong.
I'm
because when you're talking to someone, you need to look them in the face. You don't.
That's what I always say.
I don't want. Plus, luckily, Slate and I are both lefties. But being a lefty, my entire life, I'm so used to bumping elbows with someone. So it's just like, no, get the fuck on your side of the table. I need my space. We can.
Yeah. Thank God that's never been an argument. But one time we had to do it at a melting pot, because the pot is like in front of you, and that's the only way you can sit, and didn't enjoy it.
Yeah, for the most part I avoid it if I can, but I'm not gonna lie, like, he's gotten me used to it, so I don't cringe as much as I used to, but I still hate it like almost like 99% of the time.
I've never met your boyfriend in person, but he's a serial killer. Like, that's just what that is.
That's got to be like one of like the check mark questions that they ask. Like, do they like to sit on the same side of the booth? Do they drink like room temperature water? I don't know what the other things are.
Well, I drink room temperature water.
Oh, well. No wonder
well, then you guys are a match made in heaven.
So what do you guys think of same side sitters? I mean, we know what you think of real same side sitters, but what do you think of the song Same Side Sitters?
I think this is the first time I've ever heard the word cringy used in a song. Not sure if I'm here for it, but I did actually think that I'm holding on to you like gorilla glue. Can't speak literally at all. I'm holding on to you like gorilla glue. I thought that was kind of cute. I liked that a little bit.
I'm not gonna lie. I was listening to the first half of the song, and then I realized I hadn't paid attention to any of the lyrics. So it like the melody and everything, like I was vibing, I was not in my head, but I did not like, no, there, like, other than I don't even remember that lyric, because it wasn't like, I think at that point I was just so disappointed. I'm like, do we even fucking bother listening to lyrics?
I know.
At this point?
I feel like I had to work really hard to like listen again to them. I feel like the lyrics just had me like super conflicted, because some of them I was like, oh, I kind of like the cheesiness of this, or I think this is really cute, and then most of the other times I'm like, this is
not good. Yeah. So, I mean, from what I remember, like you said, like, it's hard to kind of remember what these songs. I remember just, bopping along, vibing. It's not gonna be something I'll put on, but it's not gonna be something that I'll change the station for, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, if it comes on the radio, I'm not, or it's like, I wouldn't grab my phone and put this on my playlist, but at the same time, if I'm listening to the radio, I'm not going to switch stations.
So it's not worth the effort no matter what you do. It's not worth the effort to choose to listen to it, and it's not worth the effort to not choose to listen to it.
Exactly. So that is the perfect description of a meh song.
Oh, that is a meh song, because that's what I would call this one. It's a meh.
It, but you wouldn't put it on. All
yeah.
right.
Okay.
I like it.
It is.
Are we all agreed?
It's a meh.
It's a meh. All right. On to track number 8. It's called Like I Never Existed. I thought the intro and chorus riff were pretty cool. I think that's kind of like a theme I'm seeing. It's like the intros and like a lot of the riffs and the outros even.
The bridge was really
are
cool
pretty
too.
cool. Yeah, the bridge in this one. I think I mean, at least for this one we got like a little bit of a turn in the message of like kind of like what's going on in the album. Like it was all very kind of one note. I don't know. I mean, I think again I feel like this is another one that it's a really good idea that I don't feel like executed very well. I mean, at some point, like we've all felt like this in our lives. We've all, you know, felt like we've never existed or didn't matter. And whether that's brought on by friends or like significant other, whatever it is, it's like a universal type song. But I don't know that it like got there for me.
Definitely didn't get there for me. I think you guys are being too nice, to be honest. Like it's like this song basically never existed to me. Like, did the last song even end? I don't know. Like it sounds like the rest of the album. I can't distinguish between the songs. And like Brianne said, like, you know, the lyrically they're stuck at 17 because like I'm sorry, but how do these 40-year-olds know what fucking Ghosted is?
Yeah, I literally my only.
Oh, I didn't even realize I said that.
Yeah, my only notes were literally the guitar. The guitar in the bridge is awesome, and it's very teen angsty for a 40-fucking-year-old. With the word fucking out.
Yeah,
like I feel like they're
that's
regressing.
funny.
They're like, oh shit, I'm hitting my midlife crisis. Let's write a bunch of songs about 17-year-olds. But you know what I mean? Like it reminds me of like the creepy guy who is like, oh, you're 18, wink wink. Like that's literally all they're talking about.
yeah,
Is all this
it's kinda got
18-year-old
that vibes.
bullshit. Yeah.
Yeah, for me, like definitely a flop. Can't over it at this point. Like it's been the same shit for like 6 songs. It's a flop.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Yeah, I'm between flop and meh, so it's 2 out of 3 either way.
Yeah, all right. So that's a flop. That's our first flop, guys.
I think it's because like at this point in the album we're like, let's
Well,
go.
I mean, it took us 5 mehs to get to a flop, so you would think like eventually you'd get there with so many
I
meh.
know.
All right. Track number 9, More and More. This is the only slow song on the album, all right? No,
No, the last
Am I
one.
it?
The
Oh,
band
I don't know
that
if
one
I'd
is
call that
kinda slow.
slow. That one's more mellow, I feel like. This one's actually like a slower song. I don't know. Either way.
Ballad.
It's one of the only slow songs, put it that way, on the album. The lyrics are cheesy, but I feel like it's edging on the better side of cheesy. Like, it gave me a couple feels. Like I understand God's work and it reminds me of my worth. Like that kind of, like, I'm not a religious person, but that one kind of was like, oh, okay, well, good for you. The build-up in the bridge was awesome. I thought, like, the leading up to the bridge, I don't know, I liked it. I think also you have to kind of take everything with a grain of salt because this album has been so shitty. It was like, okay, this one at least it's been polished a little bit. It's you know, it's not a complete train wreck, but it's not good as good Newfound Glory can be. So I think it's the high end of meh, but like maybe barely hitting a jam. I don't know. I liked it.
I'm gonna let Michelle go because she looks like she's about to light on fire, and then I'm gonna agree with Brianne after that.
Well, yeah, because you know what? Fuck this song. The only redeeming quality for this song is that it's a ballad because it broke up all the high intensity energy of the pop punk bullshit that we've been hearing.
I agree.
All that generic pop punk that we've heard for, 8 songs at this point. And, that's the only thing. But you know what? As a ballad, it fucking sucks. It didn't make me feel shit. There was zero thought into the rhyming. Like FaceTime and Valentine, shine, mine, screen, scene. Get the fuck out of here. Like, what? Did you have a rhyming dictionary out? Like, or did you just, what the fuck? Like, it's just garbage to me. Absolute garbage. And I think maybe for me, I guess, I don't know, I was just frustrated at this point. So, like, it was just...
Tell us how you really feel, Mish.
Yeah, seriously.
It fucking sucked. That's
Also,
what I feel.
Also, like, me and Brianna are a little bit more hopeless romantic than you are. Like,
That's accurate as shit.
I never would have pictured you liking this song or, like, playing this song.
Same.
Like, this is very much up my alley. Like, I love a good love song. I thought this was super, super cute. I loved I'll Keep Loving You More and More every day, a little more than the day before. I swooned a little bit. I thought it was so cute. This could be a wedding dance song.
No, never.
Yes, it could. Are you kidding?
First of all, okay, yes, you guys may be more like mushy gushy than me, but I do have my romantic side, and I love me a good love song, and this was utter trash. It belongs in a dumpster and set on fire.
I would like to point out that the look on Kelly and my face when Michelle was like, I have a romantic side. We were like, sure, girlfriend.
Sure.
But also,
I'm sorry, have you guys dated me? You don't know.
Okay.
anyways, I also feel like there's two types of people. There's like, well, in this situation where we have been beat down and beat down and beat down, and Kelly and I are just like, okay, this one's not horrible, it's good. And Michelle's like, this isn't good enough! Ah! And like lights the world on fire. I feel like, there's two types of settings.
All right, yeah, okay, fine. I suppose. I still think it's trash, but...
Alright, so Michelle says it's a flop, I'm guessing.
No, it's worse than a flop. It's terrible. It's just, God, I have no words for it.
I will say, I'm gonna go out on a limb. I'm gonna say it's a jam.
I think it's a jam.
I don't think it's a bop. I don't think it's a banger, but it's a jam.
It's a jam. A ballad version of a jam.
Yeah.
Fine.
I literally want to play that at my wedding just to piss you off.
Yes, Kelly!
You better play it after I make my speech, because you're gonna get lots more hate in it. Just
Rude.
kidding, I would never.
Don't you love me more every day?
Always.
A little more than the day before? Don't you? Or you don't? I don't think you do anymore. I guess it stops today.
Shut the fuck up, God. Anyways, speaking of like wedding songs or whatever, next track, Do You Want to Settle Down? I liked it better after the dumpster fire that was More and More. But, honestly, I might have just liked it better because it got broken up by the ballad. And, I had a break from the rest of the meh that was that album, so I had, like, a chance to, like, kind of maybe, I don't know, recuperate. I don't know, the guitars were, better. It had a more, that heavier vibe that we were promised. It was very, like Himalaya and everything, and, yeah, I mean, it was alright. Like I said, I liked it better. Lyrics were still kind of but I did find it funny. All the product on their heads, but nothing's deeper in their minds. I don't think the lyrics were right in the lyric site that I looked it up, but it was something along those lines. But nothing's deeper in their minds, basically. I thought that was very ironic, because this album's not very deep lyrically.
I did really like the lyric playing Frogger through the streets of downtown, because that just reminds me of, like, in college when you're drunk and trying to cross the street. But there's a point to bringing that up. I'm very torn. It might be a double entendre. I don't know. I'm very torn of the settling down. If it's like, oh, you want to settle down, have kids and marriage, or is it like, you are a crazy bitch, you need to fucking settle down. Like, that's the entire time during the song, I was just too busy trying to decipher that to really pay attention to anything else. I think, honestly, Mish, I don't like this one at all. Like, when you were like, I like it better, this one is, like, real low for me. Like, I was just like, it's lazy. This whole fucking album's lazy, and the more we talk about it, the more angry I'm getting.
Well, no, I mean, I'm not gonna argue that it's like, I liked it better, but that's not saying much considering how I felt about the previous song. If I liked it better than that.
True.
I literally don't have anything to say. Like, I thought it was fine.
The bridge, the bridge callback screaming was pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, it was like pretty high energy after the ballad, which was like good. I don't know. I thought it was meh. I didn't dislike it.
So, I'm a meh too. How you feeling, Brie?
Yeah.
Meh. It's a. All right.
No, I'm saying it's a flop. I did not like it.
Okay. Still a meh.
I don't think the callbacks were enough to redeem it from a flop.
Fair. All right, on to track 11, The Way You Deserve. I'm just reading my own notes to this, and I think I'm pretty funny. I was just at this point, I'm like just now realizing there are 15 songs on the album. Here we go.
I realized there were 15 songs around 9. It was track 9. It was more and more. Maybe that's why I hated it, because I was like, I have so much more of this shit to go through.
Oh my god. Yeah, this one was like fine, I guess. So this is another one, like, I don't, at least like in my repertoire, I don't have like a lot of songs that are talking about this message, and I feel like the whole message of this song is something that resonates really well with me, like looking on the outside at a friend's relationship, like when someone you love is in a shitty relationship and you can tell something's not right, or like that they're not happy, and you feel like kind of hopeless about it and like you can't do much about it. So I've been in that spot like quite a many time in my life with like not just both of you, but like my siblings, some other friends, but like this one kind of hit home to me, like for the message of the song. And I thought some of the lyrics were better than some of the other songs.
I agree. It's kind of like, do you want to settle down? I think it's better, but again, it might just be because we're coming off of so many bad songs. But yeah,
Michelle,
I
you're
definitely
just broken.
Yeah. But I agree. It definitely has like a good message, but I mean, I feel like it could have driven the point home a little bit better. It's, I don't know, it just didn't make an impact. And just because it was, again, musically just really generic feeling. And though, the bridge did have a good drop, and there was like another one of those like almost acoustic shifts that after the bridge that I really enjoyed. But overall, another meh.
I think the bridge, I think, made this song. I think without the bridge, it would probably be a flop. But I do think the bridge made the song, and I actually did enjoy the lyrics in the bridge. There were a couple of lyrics that I actually really enjoyed, which is like maybe the first time I'm saying that. So I was happy about it. Like, if your heart gets broken, if it falls apart, whether now or a decade, we hit a key on the porch. I actually really liked that a lot.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
So hearing that now is really cute, but I think by this point in the album, my brain just fucking turned off because I don't remember any of the lyrics. Like, it's just gone. All of my notes are just based on the actual music. Like, I really liked the quick guitar, like the at the beginning. And then I do like how they did the breaks. Yeah. I also liked how they did the breaks where it's just him singing and then he dropped back into the musicians, the instruments, thank you, playing. I liked that. And then other than that, I mean, the acoustic shift in the middle I did like. It's interesting to see that in a quicker song. Normally it's like an acoustic song that, speeds up and builds into a full song. So the fact that they did it in reverse was interesting. But yeah, it was all right. It was meh.
Okay, meh. Meh overall. Consensus?
I think it could be like a little bit of a jam.
Just a little bit? All right, well, still meh for me and Brie.
All right.
Averages out to a meh. All right. We're almost there, guys. We promise.
It's been a rough ride.
No.
So, track 12 is called Trophy. The opening. So I actually liked this song.
Oh no.
Here's why. And we did some of this commenting with the all-time low thing, so I think, or with the all-time low track by track, so let me explain. I found myself bopping my head along to the guitar. The opening drums are really good, all that stuff. It's hard because I think the lyrics of this one are very much geared towards a younger age, but here's the difference, is that it's not so specific where it can only pertain to that, but that's just where my mind goes. And I wrote, I'm like, if I was in high school, I would want this to be like my song with a boy. Because, but like, also it's like super woke, so I feel like they're trying so hard to be 20. The I hope I don't objectify you part. Literally talking about how she's a trophy and then immediately falls up, but I don't want to objectify you. Like, they're walking, like, on edge.
Okay, first of all, the chorus, I fucking hated it. Absolutely hated it. Yes,
I thought it was okay.
No, they addressed the fact that they call her a trophy and saying, "Oh, I don't want to objectify you," but you still called her a fucking trophy. So like, my inner feminist is screaming. So I as much as like musically I liked the song, I can't with the lyrics. I fucking hated it. I hated it.
I can't stop singing it. And like I don't know. I just can't. I really, really like the melody to this song. And, like, I kind of want to hate it, but I don't.
I'm very torn because I, too, am, like, really hardcore feminist, inner straight, that whole thing. But I see both sides of it of, like, motherfucker, don't call her a trophy then. But then also, like, in the metaphor, because it's talking about, like, I'm running the race and you're my trophy. You know what I mean? Like, they could have picked another metaphor, but at the same time, I get it. So
no, well, it goes back to lazy writing. It's like
that's fair.
Yes, like
that's fair.
Like, you know, they're like, oh, this is a good line, but oh wait, it's 2020. Let me throw in, I don't want to objectify you while I'm still objectifying you. Fuck you. Like, no.
I do really like when they like I like this song a lot musically, like forgetting about the lyrics for a second. The like going into the choruses, it like the music stops and it's just the drum beat and the vocals going into the chorus, and then they do that for a whole chorus. Yeah. I always love that. I think it like really kind of spices up the song, so you're not like hearing the same exact
shit over
like
and over again.
Chorus and verse like over and over again. It like spices it up a little bit. I can enjoy that.
No, musically, I'll agree that it's probably one of the better songs. Lyrically, it's I can't.
Dude, the next one lyrically, I go deep into hard.
All right, what's your rating of Trophy?
It's a flop for me. Can't get past the lyrics.
I'm gonna say bop.
Ooh. I think I'm gonna go jam. I'm splitting the difference. It's not a bop.
Oh wow, we're all over the map on this one.
Ooh, wow, this is a split vote. Oh man. Yeah.
Well, does that mean it averages out as a meh?
I think that
it either averages out as a jam or a meh. It's somewhere in those two.
I feel like jam, because bop and jam are both positive.
That's fair. Okay, so it averages out as a jam.
Because jam's an overall.
Yes, overarching umbrella.
So it's a jam. That's
okay.
Our math is really interesting here, guys.
You know, we do what we can.
It's our show. We do what we want.
All right. So next one, scarier than Jason Voorhees at a campfire. My favorite part of the song is the title. And while the lyrics are lame, because, you know, that's pretty par for the course at this point, I do enjoy that it kind of tells a story, but that's where the liking of it ends. Music, again, is the same shit. And, you know, I don't know, this usually doesn't bother me about an album if it's kind of like, you know, similar musically, but this is just so grating at this point that it's like there's just no differences, and it's tough.
Okay, so I was a lot more negative throughout this review with you guys, because the more we talked about it, the more I was like, okay, I get that. When I was first listening, I'm like, yeah, it's all right, it's not horrible. And I kind of already went into my saga and rant about the whole high school lyrics, but this is where, when I was listening, my soul broke into like 5,000 pieces. Like, the only positive is the title, because of the fact that it reminds me of the old school Fall Out Boy titles. Like,
exactly.
Only redeeming quality.
They had good titles on this album.
Yeah.
Yes, they did.
The titles are good.
The fact that this song is so specifically high school, like, there's no... I mean, maybe it's because of the fact that, like, the whole Jason Voorhees thing, it's, like, the horror movie, and, you know, it's very stereotypical of high school kids, but, like, I cannot relate to this song in any way, shape, or form as a 29-year-old woman.
Yeah, and let's be real. Let's be real. Like, New Found Glory, their audience isn't really a young crowd anymore. The majority of it is older fans. So, like,
that's
why
what I
are
was
they
just
still
gonna
writing
say.
this?
I wonder if they have like a decent amount of younger fans, and like I wonder like how these songs are resonating with younger people. Like, I wonder if if I was in high school and this album came out, I feel like I would really like it.
I'd like it more if I was in high school. I mean, it's definitely...
Agree.
I think teens getting into pop punk are definitely going to enjoy it because it feels like it's pandering to them. But for fans who have been with New Found Glory since, you know, late 90s, early 2000s, like, this is just utter vomit.
I feel like they're cutting off their nose to spite their face. Like, they're trying to expand their fan base by aiming more towards the younger crowd, but by doing that, they're fucking over all of us who have been there for years, and now we're, like, pissed. Like, it's so lazy, it's such bullshit, and all of us expect so much more out of them, and meanwhile, they're just like, oh, the kids who are now, like, gonna be the people coming into the music scene, and we'll get them with these bullshit kid lyrics and it'll be fine. Meanwhile, they could have made the messages behind them still themed towards high schoolers, but can also there's ways to write that can bridge the gap between age groups. All Time Low has done a very good job of it. Fall Out Boy's done a very good job of it. There's a lot of other bands have done a good job of it, but for some fucking reason they're just like, nah, we're just gonna take the easy route, and I'm pissed.
Yeah.
I think you know where I'm gonna land on this guy.
Yeah. It's a meh for me.
It's a fucking flop. It's
This, I don't know. I don't know what to rate it. I feel like this is another one that, like, I don't want to like it, but I was like, it got stuck in my head, and I was a little bit annoyed.
Like a venereal disease?
Oh my god. I don't know. I'll just say meh. I'm gonna say meh.
So it's another meh. Lots of mehs.
All right, on to the second to last song. Birthday song, but not really.
Kel, I love the way you said it.
Kelly's got such a sunny, bright disposition, trying to make everything better. And me and Michelle are just like, burn it all.
Burn it to the ground.
I know. Well, yeah. I don't know. I wasn't a fan of this one. I'll talk about I'm talking like about all the things I like about the songs because you guys are covering everything else already. So I'm just talking about the things I like about the songs. So you all know I love a good gang vocal, and we got ourselves some gang vocals in this song. So I enjoyed that part quite a bit because I just love gang vocals. I think they add value to any song that they're in. I also heard, I was trying to focus on other things at this point besides the lyrics. So I started to hear some tambourine in the background that like I hadn't, I don't know. I heard some tambourine and it got me like way too excited. I think I sent you guys a picture of my notes. I was like, wait, is there a tambourine? I think I was just like grasping at straws being like, I need to find something that I like.
I will say that this had a really good transition out of the previous song. Like, it kind of felt very fluid with, like, the song kind of, like, slowly fading out and all of a sudden, like, the drum coming in and then the song starting up.
That's because the entire album's one song.
True. But that was literally the only thing I wrote was that. And then everything else I just like, put, like, an angry face. So.
Yeah, I mean, I like the song title again, but it's another one that just felt like they were going like through the paces, you know, pop punk beats, check, corny ass relationship lyrics, check, like fuck this bullshit.
I'm not gonna lie, cause and we stan All Time Low here, but it reminded me so much of when they did Birthday, and I like to pretend that Birthday was never made by All Time Low because the song is so
that was a flop.
Lame. Exactly. And it reminds me of
Funnily
that.
enough, birthday song, but not really. Oh my god.
But that's like how it kind of like clicked in my head. I'm just like, oh, they're both just so awkward because they're trying to make the birthday metaphor work and it just doesn't.
No. It does not.
So, anywho.
It's a meh for me.
Meh.
Meh.
Meh. Kel?
Flop.
Okay.
Ooh, Kelly being the badass on this
I think that
one.
was Kelly's first flop. Yes? No?
Yeah, it was.
So, track number 15, Slipping Away. It's very the same vibe we were
We're at the end, finally.
Yeah, finally. It's a very similar vibe to when we were talking about More and More, how it's a very nice relief from all the upbeat, crazy pop punk songs. Like, it's not as hyper. I won't say it's a slow song. I'd say it's more of like a mellow. It still has a beat and everything. Like, it's not acoustic or anything, but it was good. But I did like how, ironically enough, when I said there's no acoustic, at the very end of the song, the acoustic guitar comes in, and you know, I thought it was one of the better songs on the album, but not like that's hard to do.
Totally agree. I definitely think it's one of the better songs on the album. Definitely, I would call it a ballad, and I'd say it's a way better ballad than More and More, because fuck that song. I actually felt a little bit more emotion here, but it, I don't know, it was still simple. It was really direct and on the nose, lazy. Though I can definitely see younger me, feeling this really hard during or after a breakup, but I don't know, it just didn't sell it for me as is. But yeah, like you said, better song on the album, but that's not very difficult.
Yeah, I thought this one, I thought it was a good closing track because the story finally changed a little bit. This is one like I could see applying to being relevant to people not in high school. Like I could see this being about like, people growing apart as they get older, or maybe like kids growing older. Like I could see, some of those situations kind of being relevant to this song. So I think this is one of the few on this album that does kind of span more generations, I guess, and can be a little bit more easily interpreted by fans. I also liked the bridge and the outro a lot. I feel like that would be kind of fun live because it feels a little bit like anthemic at the end.
Okay, I can see that. So how we feeling? I'm mentally exhausted personally.
I was about to say, I just feel sad and defeated.
I know. But about the song, I'll I'll give it a ballad jam.
Yeah, that's what I would say.
I was gonna say jam too. Yeah.
All right.
Well, we all agree.
It's a jam. It ended the album, quote unquote, strong. So before we kind of tally up our ratings, last thoughts on the album for me. I mean, originally I was going to say it was not a bad album overall, but as we've kind of talked through it, it was, it wasn't as great, especially with as the anticipation that had been building up for this album. They did release the best singles for it. But then that was pretty much it. I mean, it was just generic pop punk, simplistic lyrically. Their better songs were the heavier ones, which kind of helped the album end on a stronger note, but it wasn't enough to save the album for me, because the hooks were lame, they were repetitive. As much as I've always liked Jordan's vocals, he was very whiny. He lacked emotion. I mean, for me, like if you think like Real Friends, Dan Lambert, though he's no longer with Real Friends, his voice like oozes the passion, and that makes you really feel something when the song. And I don't know, Jordan just sounded like he didn't give a fuck. And for the most part, it was just I kind of felt like the same I did a little bit about Wake Up Sunshine, but now looking back, Wake Up Sunshine, I don't feel that way about it anymore. It was just I was looking for something a little deeper, and like we've said a bunch, it was just really weird for them to talk about the things that they were talking about when they're in their 40s.
I've said my piece enough about this album, but I agree. I originally listened through and I was like, oh, this isn't bad, but now talking about it and like breaking it down, like they basically, this album was a movie that had a really good trailer, but they put all the best parts in the trailer and the movie was shit. So the 2 singles they released were really good, but then the rest of it was just garbage. They put out what they needed to get people to buy it, and I'm just disappointed after being a fan for so many years and just watching a band that you love mail it in to get an album out. It's saddening and disappointing, and especially after all of the new music that's come out recently, especially since all the new content that's coming out with quarantine, we have such high expectations, and it just did not even remotely live up.
Yeah, I think out of all three of us, I probably enjoyed it the most out of all of us. And I mean, enjoyed as a, I've
loose term.
Maybe, yeah, that's exactly the word I was looking for. But I mean, kind of like I was saying towards the end there, I do feel like musically it was definitely better than it was lyrically, without a doubt in my mind.
Without a doubt.
Agreed.
So to me, like some of those melodies are like, they are getting stuck in my head, which to me like denotes something good happening there. It's like, but it's very like specific songs, like greatest of all time. Like how I look at it too, like we were saying, would you skip this song or would you like seek out to play it? Like, I think there are only 2 or 3 songs on this album that I actually liked on Spotify and saved to my liked songs. Like, there weren't a ton that I'm planning on, listening
Repeat.
to on, listening, like repeating. But I don't know. I was also a little bit disappointed, but I feel like I actually think it might be a little bit of a step up from their last album if we're making any comparisons like that. Like, I forget I forget even the name of their last album, but I know it kind of
sick.
Makes me sick. Makes me sick.
That's what it is. Yeah, I wasn't a fan of that album either. Last album that I really enjoyed was Resurrection.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, just like overall a little bit meh.
All right, so I did the tally.
Okay.
We've got...
Oh, you kept track? I was just ranting.
No, I kept track. So we've got 4 jams. Which one of them is... I dispute heavily, because we know which one it was.
More.
1 banger. 9
Which one was
mez.
that?
What?
First one.
Which one was the banger?
It was Shook by Your Shaved Head.
Which I heavily dispute. That, I mean, don't get me wrong, it was a decent song, but it's definitely not banger status.
Well, me and Kelly called it a banger.
Yeah.
That's some bullshit. Anywho,
so 1 banger, 4 jams, 9 mez, and 1 flop.
which one was the flop?
It was track 8, which is...
Like it never existed. Oh, that makes sense about why no one can remember it.
Exactly. So, we've got our rating system per song, but now we have to rate the whole album. What are we doing? A through F? Like, we're in high school grading, just because, the song's all about high school.
Gotta keep the metaphor going.
I was about to say, might as well stay on theme.
Like I said, I wasn't a big fan, but, there was some stuff that was okay. I'll give it, like, a C-.
Wow, how am I going to be harsher than you?
I just felt like D+ wasn't right, Because there was just more meh.
Yeah, agree. C is like meh.
Well, that's the thing, is coming into this, I was like, okay, C+, B-. Right now, I'm thinking, like, D+. Like,
Okay.
It was so... Oh, because just because we said meh to most of the songs doesn't mean that overall it was not soul-crushingly disappointing.
Yeah.
So, I'm giving it a D+.
Okay.
Yeah, D+.
D+. All right.
I'm gonna go C+.
Okay. All right. So wait. So that would average out to like what?
A C.
A C.
A C. Well,
No, a C-.
I think
No,
it'd
I
be
don't know.
I think it'd be
I'm
like
Oh.
a C-.
Wait, what was yours, Mish? A C-?
C-.
Okay, so then probably a C-.
So it's a C-.
Because I would have brought it down to, Kelly and I kind of cancel each other out. It might be a C minus either way.
C
Either
minus.
way, it's not great.
It's like a CC minus. So it's below average. Or I guess kind of average. I don't know.
Below.
Yeah.
C minus is below average.
Okay. So below average album. Disappointing after, all the hype. So yeah, that's kind of where we're all at. I mean, I think you can hear it in our voices. We're all sounding really defeated after kind of going through that track by track, and, I think we were all not necessarily harsh. I mean, maybe on some songs, but just because we don't like the album doesn't mean we're not going to keep listening to New Found Glory. It's, like we've said tons of times, like, these bands change, evolve, grow, regress in some cases. And you're not going to like everything, but that doesn't stop you from still relating to the stuff that you liked before.
Totally.
And just because we didn't like the song doesn't mean that you guys might not. So don't just take our word for it. Listen to the album, come to our social media, discuss, debate, feel free. It's everyone has their different tastes and everyone's going to have a different take on this. And depending,
For sure.
we might have fans who are listening who are in high school and are like, this is the best fucking album I've ever heard, whatever.
Yeah.
But
I will gladly debate you all on More and More because there's no way anybody's allowed to like it. That's all.
even though your two co-hosts kind of like it, but
Yeah, I will continue to guys to debate this with you.
I'm too tired. It's 11. It's 11 o'clock on a Wednesday. I need to go to bed.
Well, on that note, we'll let the scene grandma go.
In true scene grandma fashion, this is later than my bedtime normally.
So, we hope you enjoyed our silly takes on Forever and Ever Times Infinity. Kind of an ironic title, as this will probably not be an album that is listened to forever and ever times infinity.
That will stand the test of time.
So there's that. Anyways, thanks for listening. We, as always, have had a great time with you guys here on the Mosh Pit. So, per usual, give us a follow at the Mosh Pit Pod on pretty much everywhere except Twitter, because, some douchebag has that. It's just at Mosh Pit Pod on Twitter. And, like Brianne said, let us know what you think of the album. We're happy to, chat with you guys about it and whatnot. Let's chat. Let's engage. Let's debate. And until then, #Mosh on, motherfuckers.